What up, Scrub fam? It's your boy Frisco Foz here with 3XG Productions. Went to Nationals, got top 32 here with Sun Goku Vegeta, Red Gogeta BR here. It's the mono red version. Wanted to kind of make a video profile on it. I did well with it in Niagara, and I wanted to really make a deck profile and kind of show what changes I made to it. So hopefully you guys enjoy. Let's get right into it. Just a little bit of a backstory just on what I wanted to do. I wanted to try to build a deck that beat kind of the entire format, and it's kind of hard to check all the boxes with beating Shenron, Mill, and Brawly Apes all within a deck in itself. And this deck has one kind of bad matchup, and that's the Brawly Apes, specifically the blue version with Button and all that. Very hard for this deck to beat it in itself, and it kind of discouraged me from playing it or wanting to commit to it. A lot of people ask me like, "Hey, you're gonna play Red Gogeta, bro? You're really good at it, and you're the guy with it." I'm like, I don't know, and at 2:30 on Friday night, and Saturday morning, I was like, all right, I'm doing it. Let's just do it and call it a day. So here we are, and I made top 32, so I'm kind of glad with it. Let's get right into the profile, kind of go over the card choices, some of the changes I made from Niagara, and we'll go from there. All right, so let's start off with the leader here. We got Sun Goku Vegeta. So what he is activate mate once per turn. You get to pitch one Vegeta or one Goku BR from your hand to draw two and take up to one life. The life is optional. You don't have to do it. So it's great when you're on your turn and you can awaken. You're like starting your turn. You get to actually untap one, draw one. But before you do that, you get to draw two, and then you get to swing with leader and then draw another card. So you get to draw more than one card on that turn, which feels really good. So definitely try to save your awaken turn for that line of play. It'll really definitely plus you out in card advantage. On the back side, it's really good on the awaken side. Activate main once per turn. You get to pitch one red card from your hand. Then if you have two Vegetas and two Goku BRs in your drop area, your leader gets 5k in double strike, and you get to shut off counter cards which cost two or more. So no Chompa the Trickster, there's no Mafubas, nothing like that. So anything, or no Goku UI Unstoppable, can't play that either. It's really good to shut off a lot of cards that would hurt this deck. It's kind of cool that they kind of future-proofed it. That the 6-drop, 8-drop is not really liable to those cards, which is really cool. It's a great leader to definitely be aggressive, or even to kind of hold back a little bit, because he doesn't require to attack to gain card advantage. You could definitely just pitch two or pitch one to draw two, and then take a life if you need to, and you could kind of go the game at your own pace, which is really cool. Let's get the extra cards out of the way first. I got two Is That All You Got? And two After Image and two Denial of Hope. Just went the 2-2-2 split. I had three Denial of Hope in Niagara. Just decided to go 2-2-2 to fit a third topo in there, which don't regret that decision, by the way. It's just a nice split. It's hard to commit so many other extra cards when you have other battle cards that have negate abilities as well. And Is That All You Got? In After Image, you need hard negates from Mira, Creator, Absorb, and After Image is just you just have to have that sparking negate available too. So I just felt like that was a pretty even split across the board. So I definitely liked it. Let's go into the Vegeta and Goku package, the Vegeta BR and the Goku BR package. Start with Goku here. We have four of the prepping for fusion. So that didn't change. One drop, tutors, Vakus, or Vegetas, really good. And we put the new one, the Sun Goku, preparing for battle. It's just a negate. It's better than harmonic because you have the ability to use it after you get hero revived, and you're just like, hey, I just need to get that one negate, and I can survive the attack or whatnot. And that kind of fills that role. It's not the best card, but it's just better than harmonic, and I could see more utility with it. So that's the reason why I did with that. I have for the Vegetas, I have 10. I'll go over the reason why I have that. I have 4 Vegeta prepping for fusion, same thing. Tutor Vekus or Gokus in this case. 2 Harmonic Energy SSB Vegeta, and then 4 Vegeta preparing for battle. This card is nuts. I can't believe they made this card for this deck, and it's absolutely crazy. It lets you tutor a Veku or Gogeta from your drop area and put it in your hand. And so you have to place this in your drop area and you get one of those cards. So it's really good filtering, and it lets you cycle your Vekus and back into your hand after you use them. So things to think about with this card, you can actually generate a lot of attacks. Um, and this will kind of go into the concept of why I have Vekus in the deck. Really good against Shenron. You really want to generate as many attacks as possible. That's why I have two Veku the Fragile and two Contents Under Pressure, just to have that ceiling raised a little bit if you have one of each in your hand. So sometimes in Shenron, what I do is I play turn one Kaba, turn one Veku, and then I just leave them on board because I know Shenron can't answer it, right? Then on the crackback, when I get my turn again, I swing with Veku, swing with Kaba, and then I blow up the Veku, grab preparing for battle back into my hand, put that in the drop area, grab the Veku that I just used, then Union, attack with again, then put in the drop area, get the preparing for battle back into my hand, blow that up, grab a skinny Veku, and then you can actually get 3 to 4 attacks that turn basically just from Vekus. It's just absolutely absurd. So just things to think about with that. It lets you cycle back the Vekus, so the Vekus can actually tutor that Vegeta back. You don't have to pick the same Vegeta that you union with, so you can always grab back to preparing for battle and always cycle them back, which is really really good. So I definitely recommend the Vekus in that case. They're not great in all matchups, but it's amazing against Shenron. It's just absolutely crazy. Then I had 3 6 drops, 3 8 drops, Gogeta, Unparalleled Fusion Warrior, and then the SSB Gogeta Fusion Onslaught. This is one of your main finishers. If your Kabas or your Vekus or your 1 drops or your Mira can't finish the game, or your leader is a win con in itself. If you put a lot of pressure on your opponent, it's hard for them to commit energy and commit battle cards on the field, because that means they're going to spend energy and less resources on defense. And this put them in a bad spot where they leave themselves open to get crit to life when they have no one on board. So I definitely like it. It's a really good way to finish a game. Really good in a lot of matchups. Um, it's a little underwhelming against like Time Magic and Yellow decks and stuff like that because they still have Bloodlust. I know your leader can actually turn off counters of 2 or more, so like you don't have to worry about Unstoppable, UI Goku, Champa, stuff like that. But you still have to worry about Bloodlust, which is kind of a pain. But they don't always have it. But Time Magic also hurts because you can't always swing into their battle cards. So just something to think about on that. So let's talk about the non BR cards. Let's talk about Saiyan Kaba, one of the best 1 drops in the game right now, just as far as applying pressure against Shenron or any other matchup, even like Toa and things like that. It's very hard to deal with 1 drop 15k double strike, and it always overperforms every single tournament, and I absolutely love it. Wouldn't go any less. You want to see it as much as possible, and it just feels really good. I definitely would recommend playing 4 in your version if you decide to run the deck. Let's talk about Further and Destruction Champa. Just have one in the deck. I didn't have it in Niagara, and it was I basically cut an 8 drop for it because it's just another 10k that I can combo with. But in this case, it just has a little bit more utility, and it can give something double strike at any time. Not really for the leader, more for the 1 drops or Vekus or the Mirror Creator Absorbed, which Mirror came in clutch. It ended a lot of games. When they tap out, use Final Negate just to protect life, or Sparking Negate and put them in that position. If they put them at 1 life, boom, just play it, won the game, right? Because they always feel like, oh, I got this huge hand, I could just Spark in the game, just out combo anything they play. And then you're like, you play Mirror, they're like, oh, I just lost. You're like, yeah, you did. So it's really cool. Definitely recommend the one. You don't really want to clog your deck with too many overwhelms, so I definitely like it. Definitely just play the one. Now, Topo and Vegeta Exploding Weakness. These cards are amazing. Let's start with Topo, Righteous Aid. Best counter in the game right now. It basically ends your turn. Counter, pay 2, ditch a card from your hand, and then your opponent has discard 2 cards if they want to attack. I really like the ability to have Is That All You Got and Topo in the same hand, and your opponent has to actually play around it. So if they have a board, they have to think about if they're going to get 2 or 3 for 1 if they have 15Ks on board. But if they don't swing with leader, swing with something else, then they're not going to get that draw from their leader. Because if they swing, then they're going to have to pitch 2 to just to draw 1. So it definitely puts them in an awkward spot in that case. And I know Richard Zapp always talked about that. He's like, yeah, I always felt like you had both. And I was like, yeah, sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. But you just always have to, it's always in your opponent's back of their mind. So it's kind of cool. SS Vegeta Exploiting Weakness. In Niagara, I only had 1 in the main and 1 in the side. I decided to play 3 in the main just because how prevalent Bardock is now, Warriors Warcry, and it just absolutely needed, and you need to see it. You need to see it often. It's also really good against Mira Self Reformation. This gets around it because that has deflect, but this is just an auto off the counter play, and it blows it up. And if they don't have the overall Mira and to bait this out first, they're just gonna get blown out, and they just have no play. So that feels really good. It's really good against aggro decks like Demigra aggro. They get all these like 10Ks, 20Ks on board, and you're like, boom, play this, wipe the board. Feels real bad, especially when they try to play overwhelms and stuff like that, because the overwhelms are usually 20K or less as well, so it feels really good. Let's go over the sideboard. So in Niagara, I had 1 remote series bond in the main. I had to put it in the side just to make more rooms for Topo and Vegeta. They're just a little bit more impactful in all matchups, and remote series bomb was good, but it wasn't great all the time, so it deserved to be in the sideboard. And it act as another Transcendent Strike right here. Remote Series Bomb can get rid of apes or any card. Transcendent Strike is specifically for the apes because it's kind of a bad matchup. That card is like, it hurts you because just on the crackback of them playing apes, it's really hard to out combo it, and you just have to save negates for it. If you save negates for the Bardock, then you're going to lose to Mira eventually with Mira Brawley because Red just can't deal with it. So that's why I was thinking about having 3 Transcendent Strikes, but I was like, oh, I might as well just two, and 1 remote series bomb, just act as it. So did that. I had 2 Gallic Cannon. This was for Pan, was for Toa, anything that was aggro or just played 15, a lot of 15Ks or less. So it came up definitely really good. Would recommend it. Jiren, Shackles of the Past. I had this in my main in Niagara. It was just really good against Mill. It came up maybe once or twice if in any other non-Mill games. Not super relevant, and I really wanted to play more Tobos and Vegetas, and this just had to be cut. I was like, you know what? It's just not relevant in every game, and if you don't get it on turn 1 or turn 2, it's kind of hard to play it after that. So, um, and because it's definitely susceptible of like counter plays like denial of hope, you're wide open, etc. So you just have to keep that in mind. Speaking of denial of hope, we have 1 more in the side just for the apes matchup or anything else that you just need to see it. So we just had that third one as like a comfort thing because I think it's an amazing card. Force ejection, Mass Saiyan, just really there for the Shenron matchup. You want it on the draw. When you're on the draw, then you're gonna have that extra energy earlier. Then you have the ability to use the effect of blowing up an energy when you need to. On the play, it's not so good. So definitely just had 2. Forcing hit, put this in for any other matchups that are going to be a little bit slower, like blue yellow apes, things like that, red yellow apes. Take the pieces out of their hand, try to sneak out a win somehow. That was my main thought process on it. It's a good card. I would definitely keep it in there because really good against Toa as well. Because if you don't have the 6-drop, 8-drop, taking their Miras out of their hand is just as good. You could take both Miras because they're not going to keep like 3 or 4 copies. They really only have 1 of each in their hand. If you take both those out, their turn 4 play is going to be done with. One Fu, the Dark Banisher, another mill card basically. It's really good with the leader ability to shut off the counter plays. You basically know what's going to go off. Really good against Shenron too. I just kind of put it in there just when I'm on the play because on my turn 4, I can just hard play when they're at like 3 life and just make them pitch their hand or just go for game right then and there. So it's really good. I like it. I wouldn't take it out. 1 Freezy Army Reborn. Have this in there for basically any of the apes matchups. It's really needed, especially if they put you in a position of like 1 to 2 life and like you could try to sneak out a win. That's my thought process on it. I want to take it out because it's really your only shot. and you just got to keep it in there and just hope that it goes off, because it's one of your ways of trying to win a game, and just using your leader skill, turn off counter plays, and just go for it basically. So to reflect on it, I went X2. I 6-2, got 31st place at nationals. Absolutely love the deck. I think the state of the deck is definitely upward nears like the tier 1 status. I don't know if it's the same conversation with Shenron or Apes in itself, but it's definitely really good. Maybe like maybe a notch below, but not too far off. Definitely has a lot of favorable matchups. I definitely like it a lot. I think you should definitely give it a try, because I absolutely love the deck. It's so much fun to play, and I think you guys will like it too. Shout out to our team, Shenron's Lair. I love all the boys. We had a great time. Absolutely amazing. And to the best shop owner on the planet, Bearded Collectibles, my boy Alec. Set 8 is coming out November. Definitely get your pre-orders in. You'll get your order, get it shipped out. He's amazing. So definitely do that, guys. And if you guys have any questions about the list, let me know. And I'll talk to you guys soon. Okay, bye.